Hi, my name is Tara. If you've not listened to any of my offerings yet, I talk a lot about the laws of the universe as per how they pertain to us humans energetically. And I'm going to share today a reflection about the law of attraction and parts, inner parts, what I call our inner constellation community, and radical responsibility. And this is a personal antidote that I'm sharing that I've just had some light shed around. So I work in the healing arts, and I have struggled to break through a certain economic level. And I know that my offerings are really valuable, and I know that how I affect people, whether it's with touch, through massage and other body work, or through teaching yoga, or through transformational coaching, I know that I have a really deep and profound effect. Nevertheless, I somehow seem to have a difficulty uh, really up leveling my presence in my community, even though I've been at work in my community since 1998. And not only in up leveling my presence in my community, but also up leveling my economic status. So I've been pondering this a little bit lately, and I know, because I understand how the law of attraction works, that what I call a puzzle piece shape that fits those paradigms. And what I've been feeling like lately is I have been feeling a lack of recognition, and I have been feeling a lack of my value being recognized and my value being compensated. So I've been pondering this because I toggle between, on the surface of my mind, I toggle between knowing that I have something valuable to offer and knowing that humility is important, and not to let the ego, get too, the ego part to get too loud. And there's other voices in my constellation community as well that kind of chime in. And so I have a puzzle piece shape that is shaped to me not getting recognition and not getting compensation as per what I think my value on the planet is. So I've been exploring these thoughts lately a lot and inquiring within myself about these parts, because what I know is that I know that when we have a part that is strong in us, it determines the puzzle piece shape. The puzzle piece shape determines on what gets attracted in. So in the law of attraction, we have an attraction point that will draw to us what that attraction point fits. That's why I call it a puzzle piece shape, because it fits with what can fit in that puzzle piece shape, and it cannot fit with what doesn't fit with that puzzle piece shape. So yesterday I had an incident with I was just taking a walk, and truthfully I was working some of these thoughts in my mind, and I was feeling pretty low, and I was feeling pretty marginalized in the world in general, not by any particular incident, but just in general, feeling marginalized, in general, feeling a lack of appreciation and such. And I'm walking along, kind of trying to sort through these things and recognizing my opportunities on this walk to raise my vibration a little bit, and playing with my myself and my mind and watching and noticing. And all of a sudden I hear this absurd sound coming from the little patch of woods off to my left. And it was a phone. And I look over expecting to see a person, in the little patch of woods with their phone, and there was no person. So I kept looking, and there was a phone in the mud. And so I pick up the phone in the mud. And the long story short is I tracked down the owner. And, it took a little bit of effort. It wasn't a all-consuming project, but it took a little bit of effort that I truthfully could have not gone through. I could have left the phone there. I could have pawned the phone off. I could have, done any number of other choices. I chose to track down the owner. And so anyhow, she came to my house to pick up her phone. And when I opened the door, she was not only not very grateful to me, but almost accusatory, as if I had done something to her. And what I realized in that moment was that I have an attraction point towards not receiving gratitude and or the energetic due for the connections and benefits that I have brought to people. I've brought a lot of connections to people's lives that have changed their lives for the better in a lot of ways, and often do not get credit for it. I am not talking about this as a pity party. I'm talking about this because I realized through her in that moment, I have an attraction point for that energy. So what I see clearly now because of that incident with the phone is that I now clearly see that if I want to change the outcome, I need to change my attraction point. And in order to change my attraction point, I need to learn to understand what part within me or parts are contributing to me having that attraction point. So the work now is what I would do if this was a client who was coming to me with a story like this. The work that I would do is that I would help that person to go within and see if they could form a known relationship with the primary part and any other secondary parts that could be or are contributing to them having that attraction point. And what I generally find is that when we address these parts of us, when we recognize what their benevolent intentions are for us, not through analytical recognition, but through hearing them and hearing their story and understanding why they're there and what they're there to do for us, that typically that starts the process of changing the attraction point. And so even though we can do things like affirmations, and affirmations are useful, and we can do things like prayer, and prayer is useful, and we can do physical things in the 3D, like taking different actions towards changing our circumstances, and other ways that we can change our circumstance until we change the shape of our attraction point, the puzzle piece shape, so that we are attracting a different type of energy through understanding the parts. This is my belief. Through understanding the parts that create the attraction point, the shape as it is, we won't really break through and create a new attraction point. So I call this radical responsibility. First of all, the recognition of the pattern and the ownership that it is the pattern that is creating the outcome, not the other people. It's not the other people creating the outcome. It's the pattern. I have a pattern that creates an outcome. of a lack of due gratitude or due recognition for what I have done or offered. That is my responsibility to know that I'm attracting that energy, to discern if there's a problem there that I need to change or not change. And then with care and with compassion and with patience and with love and with curiosity to get to know the part. And in truth, I've done a good deal of this work with an internal family systems practitioner, and she has helped me. And now that's the work, in part of the work I do with my coaching clients. So now the trick is for me to also discern, is this something can I do me to me, or do I need to outsource a little help from the village and have somebody else who doesn't have the same blinders on as I do, have somebody else help me. And that's where it is. We have to insource the solution, but sometimes we need to outsource someone to assist us in finding the solution or in executing the solution in a sustainable way. So that's my little bit for today. And I certainly did not mean this at all to be a pity party, but what I really wanted to shine a light on was a personal antidote of how I am experiencing my attraction point. Because if I can't, have radical responsibility, then how could I possibly think, to encourage anybody else? So I hope that you understand the intent of this, and I hope that for whomever might listen to this, that it lands with some value. If you did get anything out of this, please, do the thing, like the video, share the video, listen to other videos, subscribe, all the things. I appreciate you witnessing me, and I hope that you have gained something from this. Thank you so much.